Warbucks, have you ever sat there and walked into something just figuring out you're going to be mad at it? Well, this request comes from Cannonball, and this is about the largest stolen Valor fraud in history. This is from Angry Cops. And honestly, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the thumbnail. Oh my god. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this when this is all said and done, because this is going to make me mad. This is going to really get underneath my skin. You guys don't typically see me angry. This is one thing that does make me angry. So, I haven't heard about this. So this is old news. That is new news to me. Angry Cops links are going to be in the description down below. And shout out to Angry Cops for pointing stuff like this out. Because too many times I see... I have seen one instance of this in my life where somebody was in a military uniform, was definitely not in the military, and certain things irritate me more than others, and that one definitely did. I'm not going to say what happened, but they were confronted about it. Let's get into this. I'm going to be mad. Let's just say that I'm going to be mad.
Gather round, children. Gather round, pull up a seat, semicircle. Let me enthrall you with the most extravagant tale of stolen valor that the United States military has ever seen. Oh yes, it is on that level. Now you might say, AC, I thought stolen valor was just some guy parading around in some mismatched military uniform at the mall to get 10% off of Applebee's, or at the airport to see if he couldn't get priority boarding on Southwest Airlines. And I say nay, nay. But our tale begins with Staff Sergeant Sarah Kavanaugh of the United States Marine Corps. Right, Sarah? But before we get too deep into Sarah's story, which in turn kind of turns into mine, we're going to hear a word from our sponsors.
Let's go.
Because this video's sponsor is
Raid Shadow Legends.
The greatest mobile game of all time, with over 600 champions who came from unique factions, each with their own history and telleria. Be sure to use my link below to download Raid to your mobile phone or PC. I've been playing Raid Shadow Legends for some time now, and I've saved my shards to show you some of the epic champions that you can have. Join me in the portal as we summon some of these epic champions. Like Alika, who can revive dead champions and can strike every enemy all in one turn.
You don't get these, by the way.
Who can gain extra attacks with every critical hit. Or the miscreated monster, whose attacks like Lightning Storm stuns enemies and shields your champions while in battle. The better the shard, the better the champion. And for those champions that just don't cut the snuff, you can sacrifice them to build up some of your more prestigious champions.
Sacrifices do go a long way.
Test your new champions now with the fresh rotation of the Brutal Hydra boss and some special Valentine's Day events where you can try to get your hands on a brand new champion.
There you go.
New users will receive a new epic champion, Aina, and all of these bonuses: 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard to summon your own awesome champion. The treasure awaits you here, but only for 30 more days into new players. This is the best time to get started in Raid by clicking the link below or by scanning the QR code.
Shadow Legends.
And now back to your regularly scheduled dose of stolen valor. Sarah's story is a little convoluted, but I'm going to do my best to try and keep you up to date with all the information that was coming out as I discovered it.
Let's go.
Get ready for a fucking roller coaster.
Let's go.
Sarah Kavanaugh had joined the Marines around 2006 or 2007, deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan where she was blown up, received a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star with V device, V being for Valor, for pulling some Marines out of a burning vehicle while being engaged by the enemy. Now, some of the shrapnel inside of her body, due to this roadside explosion that causes this entire event, led to her receiving the Purple Heart. Well, she got out of the military, was basically told, hey, listen, you're pretty busted up. We can't keep you here anymore. And had a hard time switching over to civilian life. She started leaning on different military organizations for those that were wounded and having a hard time moving into the civilian world. And they...
My experience moving back into the civilian world was rough. And it was due to a lot of factors that happened around the same time that I left. Most notably the recession. Like, I was supposed to get out. I was going to be working at a plant. I had already lined everything up. I had already gotten all my ducks were in a row. I was considering doing that. I was considering doing some other stuff, but I had this plant job lined up. And I get out. I'm going to take 2 weeks to just kind of mellow out and decompress, everything like that. Get my stuff unpacked. Settle back in, get my license updated, all the stuff that you have to do when you've been in for a while. And then the recession happened. It was rough. I was like, I didn't have I was effectively living on couches, like living on my brother's couch, and living in my parents' house for the better part of 2 years. I was effectively homeless at that point. If they had kicked me out, I would have been on the street. It would have been just what it was. It would have sucked. So it would have sucked more. I couldn't find a job outside of Walmart. It was just bad, and there was no real help for me. I finally got back on my feet about 2.5 years later, after I got out initially.
Assisted her. She eventually got the job as the commander of a VFW post in Rhode Island. Now, you might think that this is a great feel-good story of a wounded veteran coming full circle, helping themselves out, relying on others, and then getting a job back in the veteran community. Hell, it's the VA. But it doesn't end there. You see, 2 years ago, Sarah was diagnosed with lung cancer, which then metastasized into her brain. It was terminal. What a bummer.
Wait,
but
what?
It's because of this cancer that we got to know Sarah. You see, Sarah contacted the Hunter 7 Foundation, a fantastic non-for-profit focusing on assisting veterans and their medical needs that it just so happens I work alongside with. Now, after some talks back and forth with some head honchos at Hunter 7, everybody was on board to helping Sarah out, but some issues started popping up.
Right.
Because once you take an individual in the military sphere and elevate them on social media, there's a lot of prying eyes on there. So if something's not right, well, someone's gonna find it, aren't they? Aren't they, Sarah? Oh, and we found it. We found it. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Sarah never had cancer. In fact, she was never wounded overseas because she never went overseas, because she never served in the Marine Corps. She didn't serve in any branch. She's a civilian who made it all up. Fairy dust. So Sarah, here's a fake. But how do we know that she's a fake? I mean, I just said that she faked her military service and that she didn't have cancer, but how do we know that, right? How do we know these things? I'm so glad you asked. You see, Sarah went to a lot of public events as a Purple Heart recipient and a commander of a VFW. And in some of these public events, well, she would wear dress uniform, looking pretty snazzy. Now, somebody found out some of those medals didn't quite line up with her DD-214. And if you're not familiar with what a DD-214 is,
she forged a DD-214
document that you get from the military once you get out or when you're done with the deployment for the National Guard and reservists out there. And the medals on her chest, and the rank on her arm, and her time in service, and when she got deployed, and when she was blown up, well, it didn't quite match this fantastic document that would notate those very important specific things. Now, I'm not going to point out exactly what was wrong here because fuck you, you disgusting piece of shit. I don't want any other Stolen Valor fucking dummies to try and copy her nonsense. But this, if you were a Marine, would see is riddled with inaccuracies. So that's one. Specifically, I will bring up that her social security number and the social security number that's on the DD-214 didn't line up. In fact, they didn't line up so much that one was a male and one was a female. Now you're like, what do you mean one was a male, one was a female? Well, Sarah's obviously a female, but the social security number on the DD-214 was linked to a male, a real male service member. So Sarah took a real Marine's DD-214 and started fixing it and mixing and matching and diddly-dooping it. So then it looked like she was this male Marine. That is some Inception shit going on there. Oh, but it doesn't matter.
Oh,
As
God.
all Stolen Valor, what do they want? Oh, they want attention. Oh, do they want attention? And they're going to get it. Now, when people saw Sarah in her uniform and with this DD-214 looking like things didn't match up, well, eyebrows were raised and people went a little further in there. Now, I don't know how much further you got to go, because if somebody fucking salutes like this and says that they're in the fucking military or were at some point, you're high as a kite.
Right.
The fucking man next door is doing a better salute than her. What the fuck is parade rest, standing, feet separated, shoulder width apart, hands splayed out with your fingers all fucked up like you're ready to high five a robot, and then hand up here saluting? That is in no way, shape, or form the way the position of attention or the hand salute is taught. You can't think being in the military because it's such a unique experience that eventually, if you keep it up long enough, which is the cardinal sin for all Stolen Valor people, you get caught because they can't stop. You want to hear some more fucked up shit about this turd? Now, so far, we've got Sarah wearing a bullshit uniform with a bullshit DD-214 that she's handing out to fucking everybody and acting the part as if she's fucking Super Sailor Marine Sarah. Go fuck myself. But let's talk about some other things that she did.
Let's go.
Just to keep piling on this massive mountain of human shit. You see, Hunter 7, the fantastic non-for-profit organization that started to figure things out, actually ran a funding campaign to assist her in some of her medical bills, which, by the way, were fake. She faked fucking cancer medical bills. And so well, in fact, that healthcare professionals were looking at it saying, holy shit, that's extremely legitimate. Only a healthcare professional would understand how legitimate this looks.
My God. Some people are just legit dirtbags. Legitimate dirtbags.
You would have to know somebody in nursing, hint, hint, in order to get this the way that it is. Now, that was only found out after Hunter 7 got a hold of Walter Reed and said, no, she never showed up here. In fact, Hunter 7 got a hold of a local VA who said, no, we kicked her out. She showed up in the emergency room one time with her fucking DD-214, and we were like, we can't validate your service. You need to beat fucking feet. Holy shit. The VA did something right. But yet the VA hired her as a social worker. Wait a second.
That goes to explain a lot about my experience with the VA.
Are you telling me that this Stolen Valor piece of shit got a job working at the VA, surrounded by veterans and their paperwork, their stories, the legitimate paperwork to go on and back up those stories? With those powers combined, you could become the most ultimate piece of shit Stolen Valor fuckhead in the entire military sphere of world existence. And she did. It doesn't end with Hunter 7 figuring out that she's full of shit and immediately pulling down and refunding all of the monies collected for this fucking lying turd. The military non-for-profit sphere, it's a small circle. So immediately Hunter 7 starts going around and talking to all the individuals and non-for-profits that she may or was associated with in the past. And wouldn't you fucking know, Sarah's been receiving money, donations, assistance for being a wounded veteran. Oh no, you see, you went from wearing a fucking costume and shaking some hands to fraud. You've been defrauding non-for-profit organizations for wounded veterans. Oh no. Oh, Sarah, there is a certain level of hell that is meant for you, and I can't.
I'm not pausing this that much and talking. I'm not doing any commentary. I'm sitting here trying not to fly off the handle, and it's difficult. It's difficult. For me, it's difficult, okay? Like, I got out for one reason. I got out during 2008 when it wasn't, like, the culture around, like, saying something was wrong was not there. I have yet to start fighting the VA about, you know, basically my leg, a couple other things. And everybody tells me I should start. I just don't know. I'm not going to go into it. There's some fights I'm not ready for. But this, like, oh, God.
Can't wait to see you burn in it. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been talking this entire time. Perhaps I should let Sarah talk about how she received money from a veteran non-for-profit due to her veteran wounded status. Take it away, Sarah.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Kavanaugh, and I served in the United States Marine Corps from 2007 to 2016. I deployed to Iraq twice and Afghanistan once. Photo support came through several times to assist me, particularly after I was diagnosed with a service-connected illness that led to my divorce. Coda support then assisted me again when I was without heat for 3 weeks in January of 2020. Recently, when I received my service connection, there was an issue regarding a payment. I reached out to Coda support and immediately received assistance from Marjorie, who was able to walk me through the process. There have been several times I've reached out just for emotional support to Christy regarding my service and what my purpose is now.
Stolen Valor. God, they'll never stop astounding me with their boldness. To go in front of a camera and say that you received money fraudulently from a charity.
I hate clout chasers. I hate them. I cannot stand clout chasers. And there's one reason above all that I can't stand them. And that reason is that they don't care what anyone else is going through. They don't care at all about what anyone else is going through. They just want to get that attention. They want that, and nothing is too low. Like that Johnny Somali kid who goes out and he literally antagonizes people. This person's worse. This person's worse. Far worse.
Knowing full well that your shit's fake as fuck. Wow. Who handles this? Doesn't the FBI handle this shit? Oh my God, I think they would. That'll be a fun story. But it doesn't end there. It keeps going. Of course it keeps going.
Of course.
It's the biggest fucking fraud in stolen valor history. Hunter 7 caught it and let everybody know, hey, this person's full of shit, but she took money from Coda support. Admitted it on that video that we just saw. Well, what about the VFW? I mean, she's a post commander, isn't she? Isn't that a paid position? And I'm pretty sure she got that position because of her wounded veteran status. Well, that's more fraud going on there. What else do we have?
Keep
the
going.
Warrior program.
No.
She even got money from that.
No.
Oh no. I gotta start counting on another hand now. Now, hopefully you remember that she's.
Guys, if you're ever wanting to donate to a veteran's cause, if you're ever wanting to do that, the Wounded Warrior Project is one of those charities I would highly, highly recommend. I know a few people that have used funding from the Wounded Warrior Project, and I can 100. I haven't heard of the other one, but I can tell you guys the Wounded Warrior Project. I know several veterans that have benefited from that charity, and if you're ever, in that position, that's the charity to go with. That's one of them at least.
Duke Oncology. Duke was gonna start giving her treatment for free because of the Tug McGraw Foundation. But here's one of the most sickening things about Sarah. It's her time with Patrol Base Abate. And if you're unaware of Patrol Base Abate, it's basically a retreat for veterans to kind of center themselves and refocus, rehabilitate, and reinvigorate their purpose in their community, in their family lives. And if you don't know what that means fucking Sarah, with her bullshit, not real, lie, stolen valor fuckery, was hanging out with real combat veterans and trying to assist them with her own stories, which were fake. And it's like, oh, hey, here, I did it. I made it through this. Let me help you and assist you. You fucking sociopath. I can only imagine the real life fucking damage you did to veterans who really needed help. And here's your fucking lying ass being like, oh, hey, listen, I'm Sarah, and I know that you women might have a different experience than the men that are wounded. Everybody's just different. But as another female veteran that was wounded, allow me to connect with you and share our experiences to better you. Why? And what about just the veterans that needed that? What about the actual...
She took somebody's spot that actually needed that place. She took somebody's spot that actually needed a place like that. I'm not going to start because if I start, I won't stop for 30 minutes.
People that needed assistance that this fucking took away from them. You know, this bitch is so fucking stupid that she went on TV and said, hey, you know what? Rhode Island's having such a hard time with finding out where Purple Hearts are. We should probably have a registry.
And I was reading today that there is no real official document or anything about how many folks have received a Purple Heart. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I guess none of the branches officially report that to the state, to the VA, or anything like that. I think maybe having a role would be a great thing for some people.
If I start, I'm going to go for 30 minutes.
Hey, Sarah, hate to tell you, but the Military Order of the Purple Heart already tracks that shit. And so does the VA, which, by the way, you fucking work for. Now, since this has all come to light, and thank God it has, there's been a lot of mixed emotions. The fantastic charities that were taken advantage of just wanted to go away. And I can't blame them, but they shouldn't be embarrassed because they're doing their fucking job.
They are.
They're trying to take care of people.
They are.
Just pieces of shit that'll take advantage of their kindness. Well, listen up, Sarah. Our kindness should not be mistook for fucking weakness, because the fucking veteran community is coming after you. Oh, we're fucking coming. And so are the feds. So are local law enforcement. So I hope you enjoy your fucking prison stint, and I can't fucking wait to see you in court. Now, I personally support all the non-for-profits that were taken advantage of by this fucking piece of shit. And I've got all their links below. 107, Patrol Base Abate.
All of the links are going to be in the description below, everybody.
Warrior. I implore you, if you want to help out some veterans, to check out their websites and donate. And let them know. Oh, I'm getting fucking emotional. And let them know that we're not going to let some piece of shit bring them down. And that they have our support. Because they've got mine. Because I'm going to nut when that gavel comes down with your guilty verdict. And now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled video of Stolen Valor. My true social sense is tingling, but that can only mean one thing. Stolen Valor! Yeah! Stolen Valor! Stolen Valor!
I am lucky in a lot of ways that I never had to fire a shot in anger. I never had to do it. I boarded boats, I boarded tankers, I boarded a whole bunch of small boats and stuff like that. I never had to draw my weapon. I never had to do it, and I thank God that I never had to do it. Some people that I knew, some people that I actually went to school with, and joined about the same time I did, because I joined it post 9/11. Some people that I have known personally were not that lucky. They were not that lucky. I know for a fact that there are some people out there that do stuff like she does just purely for the attention. When you do that, you piss on people who have done so much. You piss on people that I know who aren't here anymore. You piss on people who never got the help that they needed. They never got the help that they needed. I don't want to go fight the VA with what's going on, because even now my leg feels cold. Even now my leg feels cold. My arm hurts. It is what it is. It's been that way for well over. It's been that way for a very long time. I'm not going to whine and complain about my own circumstance when some people have had it so much worse than I have. And I know, yeah, some days it hurts like hell. Some days, if I drive for over 2 hours, it feels like my body's coming apart. And I've gained a lot of weight because I can't work out the way that I used to anymore. I just can't do it. But I'm looking to address the last part. And one of these days when I, when I'm ready, I'm going to go to the VA and I'm going to talk to them, because back when I got out, you didn't say that something was wrong. You didn't say that something was up, and you just didn't do it. My second deployment, I woke up and, this is a bit of a personal story about me. I woke up during the middle of my second deployment and my left leg was locked. It was completely locked up. And I was laying in my rack with a leg that I couldn't move it. I couldn't bend it at the knee. My knee was so tight. And I was only 23 at the time. The knee was so tight that I couldn't even bend it. And when I was laying there going, am I ever going to be able to use this leg again, for like 5 minutes, until I finally got it to move again. And it took me 20 minutes to get moving again. And for about a solid month, I woke up like that. And I eventually learned how to live with it. Because you didn't report that stuff back then. You didn't report it. Like, at least I didn't. Nobody that I knew did. But I know that people have had it so much worse than me. So, even me, like with me, I would feel bad going to some of these organizations, because I know, like, one, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. 'Cause, 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 'c And I feel bad about going to some of these organizations because I don't want to take from someone who has had it worse than I have. Because I've seen some people come back, and I've seen some of the people that served during the same time that I was in, from the same class. They need it more than I do. I'm fine. I'm fine. And eventually I do want to go to the VA because I would like some, it would be nice. It would be nice to finally seek out disability for my leg, because it is a thing, okay? It is a thing that has been with me since I got out. I tried to be a firefighter when I got out. I passed the test with everything. I don't want. It's a thing, guys. It's a thing. I don't know why I haven't gone yet to talk to them yet, but I do know why I've never sought out some of the help that he was talking about. The links are going to be in the description down below for the help that he was talking about, because I'm okay. I'm okay. I used what I was entitled to when I was trying to get back on my feet, Montgomery GI Bill and things like that, to get myself into school and to get help me with an apartment, pretty much. But I never turned to any of these organizations because I always felt like, seeing some of these guys, seeing people that I knew in the VA office, just the looks on their faces and knowing what they have been through. You don't want to take from them. And the sheer fact that this person did so much when all of that could have been used on someone who actually needed it. That disturbs me. That disturbs me because, for me, it's how dark is your soul when you do that? How screwed up in the head are you? Basic human decency should have come into play at some point. Should have kicked in. I do not understand some people, how they can exist in the world that we live in. Even now, I don't understand it. I don't understand how some people can be the way that they are and have so little when it comes to personal values and personal, integrity. I don't understand it. I really can't. I can't even begin to. Warpugs, I saw that there's an update on this. I'm going to check it out at some point. I hope she went behind bars. I hope she went behind bars and she's still there. She's going to be there for quite some time. I hope she has to pay back every dime that she took from these organizations that could have been used on someone who really needed the help. Warpugs, I hate to say it this somberly, but we lose veterans every day. We lose veterans every day. And I don't need to say to what. You understand. You understand. Some people, they get in, they get out, and they cannot adjust. They can't put things behind them. They can't move on. And this horrific horrific human being might very well be the cause of a couple of them. I have nothing more to say about this piece of filth. I have nothing more to say. War Pugs. All of Angry Cops links are going to be in the description below. All the links to the veteran organizations are going to be in the description below. And I'm out.